with all of you and be able to share these last few lessons from this devotion that I found right after Easter that seemed to fit perfectly with after the Easter holiday, and the theme has been all about salvation. So there are actually 3 more salvation lessons left in this book, and I should pause for a moment, and as you probably see, we have 2 guests with us today. So if you want to wave hello, can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi. And they're going to help with our story today, but we're going to spend the rest of July every Sunday talking about salvation. So we are happy to be here with you. I have enjoyed reading these lessons. They've been a lot of fun for me to read and learn and reflect and think on. And I hope that you all have enjoyed them as well. I have done my very best to accommodate as many age groups as possible. I know the audience, all of you, it kind of varies. Even when we are in church together, I know that there are very young little preschoolers watching this, all the way up into the upper elementary years. And so I hope I'm doing an okay job with accommodating that, but it can be tricky at times. So I know it's not been perfect, but I am grateful that y'all have been following along and enjoying, hopefully enjoying learning these lessons with me. So with all of that said, the title of this lesson is, What Must I Do to be saved? And actually the answer is in the Bible, and the answer is quite simple. So I'm going to share with you a verse from Romans chapter 10, verses 9 through 10. Say with your mouth, Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead. Then you will be saved. With your heart you believe and are made right with God. With your mouth you say that Jesus is Lord, and so you are saved. All right, we're going to do that again all together, okay? I wanted y'all to hear it all the way once through. Do it with me. Ready? Ready? Do what I say, okay? Follow me. And y'all do this at home too. So say with your mouth, touch your mouth, say with your mouth, Jesus is Lord. Say it. Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart, touch your heart, touch your heart. Believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead. Then you will be saved. With your heart, touch your heart, touch your heart. Where's your heart? Touch it. Right here, touch it. With your heart you believe and are made right with God. With your mouth, touch your mouth again. Where's your mouth? Touch your mouth. Touch your mouth. With your mouth you say that Jesus is Lord, and so you are saved. So we have a friend here, and we got creative. I feel like the fun thing about what's going on in the world today is that things are different, and some, you know, that things are different. But it allows us to be creative, right? We have to think differently than we thought in the past. And I think that's a really exciting thing about these times. Yes?
You can make a dog out of paper.
You can make a dog out of paper? Yeah, there are all kinds of fun things that you can do. And so we needed a scientist, and we didn't have a toy that was like an actual scientist. So this guy... Go ahead. We used Ken, and we turned his jacket around to make him look more like a scientist. Like he, yeah, you want to show the back? Okay, because he was actually a scooter guy. But so we're using our creativity, and that's the fun thing. We have to, when you don't have exactly what you need, or maybe when the times are not exactly as they are, that's when you have to get creative, right? And come up with a different and maybe even a better way. And we're not going to call him Pin. We're going to call him Eugene, okay? Just so it's a little different, okay?
It's like on the movie Rapunzel.
Oh, is his name Eugene?
I think so.
Oh, that might be right. That sounds right. Okay. Okay, so Eugene had come a long way. He was a scientist first and a human second. Eugene believed that everything could be explained through science. Faith was something people relied on only when they hadn't truly examined the scientific evidence. Okay, so as I read this part, it made me think about when I was a youth, and I was actually a youth here at our church. I grew up in First United Methodist since I was 3 years old. And And my youth pastor, I remember him doing some lessons on the case for Christ. And so I'm going to flash up on the screen some of those books, just in case you want some additional further reading. But that, I think it was called The Case for Christ. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm right. And so I remember reading that as a teenager. And then in my adult life, I sat down one day, it was a while back, to fold a load of laundry. And I found, I think it was on Netflix, The Case for Christ movie, which is also very good. And there's also The Case for Christ for kids. So there's also The Case for Christmas, I think, too. There's all kinds of like really great books out there. So I'm going to flash this up on the screen just in case any of you are interested in that. Case for Christ for kids. If you're reading on your own, that might be something you might like to read. Eugene came to a crossroads in his life. Some of you may feel like you're in some crossroads right now. I know we kind of feel like we're in a crossroads right now, especially trying to decide what next school year is going to look like and what we're going to choose for that. That feels like a crossroads to me. Eugene had lost a lot of things, and things were closed. Oh my gosh, we can totally relate to that too, right? There's a lot of things that's closed right now. And Eugene's girlfriend, Katrina, had broken up with him because she was a Christian and he wasn't. And possibly, worse than anything, he realized that his knowledge was failing him. A spiritual battle was going on around him and he wasn't equipped to fight it. So, one day he was sitting on the beach, la-di-la-di-la-di-la, enjoying all the beauty of the beach. You know, we actually are very grateful because we got a beach vacation this summer and it was a lot of fun, and I always feel very close to God when I'm at the beach. The song In the Secret and The Quiet Place, that song kept going through my head while I was there. Just the gorgeous sand and the beautiful ocean that seems to go on forever, and the beautiful colors in the sky during sunset, and it's just a place that always promotes peace for me. So anyway, so he found himself on a beach, and as he was sitting there, a mermaid came up, and she suggested, let's bring her back here because I want to make sure that we can, that they can see her. So she suggested that Eugene take a look at his life to see what lessons he had learned over the years. Okay? So Eugene, now we need this, Mr. Man, we need this, okay? So Eugene programmed, we got to program it, you ready? Boop, 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 boop. Programmed a time machine to review his past. What he found was the inevitable conclusion. Jesus had been pursuing Eugene for a long time. Where's Jesus?
He's in there, I think.
Oh, there's Jesus. Here, can you say Jesus?
T.
Okay, say it to the camera. Say Jesus.
T.
Okay, so let's get Jesus out. You're going to hold him? Okay.
No, I'm going to put it right there.
Okay, so Jesus had been pursuing Eugene for a long time.
Put it right there.
And Jesus, not Eugene's own intellect. Intellect is like his intelligence, his brain. Not Eugene's own intellect was the one who would save him. Jesus is the one who would save him. He came out of the time machine, so here he comes. He came out of the time machine and asked the mermaid the question, what must I do to be saved? The title of our lesson. And she said, if you want Jesus in your life, if you believe in your heart that he died for your sins, and you want him to be the Lord of your life right now, the best thing to do is talk to your parents about it. You can also talk to your pastor or a Sunday school teacher, and that's how you get saved. So, people come to Jesus in many different ways. Some become a Christian fast, but for others, it's a longer and even slower process. worth the wait. So this is the prayer you can pray together. Dear Jesus, I know that I sin. Shh, okay. All right, y'all want to repeat this after me? Okay. Dear Jesus, I know that I sin. Say it.
Dear Jesus, I know what to sin.
And I know that because I sin, I am separated from you. And will die one day. But I also know that you died to forgive my sins and take them away forever. Okay, can you sit down on your bottom and face the screen so they can see you? Because otherwise they're seeing your back right now, okay? Please forgive all my sins right now. I give you my heart, my life, my actions, my attitudes, everything. I want to one day live with you in heaven. Help me to be the follower. Help me to be the follower you want me to be. Amen. So that's a prayer that you just said. And do you know what the word sin means? Sins? Huh? Well, sins is when you sin, it's like you make a bad choice, basically. Okay? So when you say, I know that I sin, you're saying, dear Lord, I know that I make bad choices, right? And I know that because I make bad, we all make bad choices sometimes, right? But we know that God forgives our bad choices, right? Over to God, your heart, your life, your actions, your attitudes, everything. It's like feels so nice to take that off of your shoulders and not have to carry those things around. It's like the whole like Jesus take the wheel kind of thing. So if you prayed that prayer, consider the Bible verse that says there is joy in heaven over one sinner who turns away from sin. That's from Luke chapter 15 verse 10. The angels are rejoicing, and you should be too. You've made the best decision you will ever make. Okay, so here's your challenge. 2 challenges today. If you made a decision for Jesus today, tell 3 adults about it and ask them to pray and celebrate with you. And part 2 is to make index cards with one word from the theme verse on each card. Shuffle the cards and then put them in verse order. So we're going to do that right after we close this video off, and then we'll take a picture of that. And if y'all want to do that at home, you can. If you want to take a picture and send it in for us to show in next week's video, you can do that. Or you can just do it and practice it every day or however you like to do it. So we're going to end today with the salvation theme memory verse. You've heard this memory verse over and over and over again in all of these salvation lessons. And it's from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 5. God gave us new life because of what Christ has done. He gave us life even when we were dead in sin. God's grace has saved you. So I did in the parent text group message. I don't know if you've all been paying attention to those messages or not. If you want to send pictures in of things that you've been doing at home, whether it's a garden, I know some people have been doing that. A craft you made, something you're doing outside. whatever you're doing right now, or even if it's not at home, if it's a vacation you went on, or whatever you've been up to this summer, just so that we can have an exchange of human interaction with each other as much as we can do that in these times. Feel free to do that. I'm going to clip a couple of pictures from us of things that we've been doing this summer, and I hope to clip more of your pictures in so that there's other people and we're all exchanging, like, this is what we did, well, this is what we did, in a back and forth. So anyways, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.